NFL executives didn't see this coming. When Shedeur Sanders was picked in the 5th round, few gave him a second look. Now, some of those same decision-makers are scrambling to understand how a rookie with a $4.6 million contract just earned $14 million before Week 1. The answer lies in what they underestimated: brand power. Sanders didn't just sign with the Cleveland Browns. He negotiated a future anchored by a radical endorsement model. If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed. And a pioneering clause that gives him equity in his own brand. It's a deal that's putting pressure on the league's outdated structures. For those in charge, this is more than an outlier. It's a warning shot. Sanders' early jersey sales generated over $250 million, driven by his own marketability and Nike's strategic positioning. He's not just another athlete. He's a case study in how the next generation will negotiate their value. And as Sanders cements his legacy beyond the scoreboard, the NFL may be forced to adapt fast. The balance of power is shifting, and rookies are no longer playing by old rules. 4 minutes ago, the entire NFL business model quietly cracked open when Shedeur Sanders, a 5th-round rookie quarterback for Cleveland Browns, became the highest-paid rookie in league history through endorsements, not his playing contract. That single detail is what has executives pacing their offices right now. A player taken in the 5th round, signed to a 4-year, $4.6 million deal, is already earning more than veterans who have been in the league for a decade. Not because of touchdowns or Pro Bowls, but because his name on a jersey has become one of the most valuable commodities in American sports. Shedeur has been speaking about this shift openly, and the numbers back him up. His Browns jersey didn't just sell well. It exploded. More than $250 million in jersey sales hit the books almost immediately, and his personal cut from that came out to roughly $14 million. That is more than 3 times his entire rookie contract. The NFL has never seen a player, especially a rookie drafted that late, flip the normal power structure this quickly. The league is built on players being paid for their labor on the field. Shedeur just proved the real money is an ownership of your own brand. This is why people inside the league are unsettled. The system assumes rookies come in cheap, stay quiet, and slowly earn leverage. Shedeur skipped that line entirely. His deal includes what's been called a prime equity clause, which ties his income directly to merchandise sales, sponsorships, and brand value. That means every jersey sold, every piece of licensed apparel, and every major endorsement connected to his name feeds directly into his pocket. He is not just a player promoting a product. He is a stakeholder in his own commercial empire. When Shedeur talks about it in interviews, he doesn't frame it as rebellion. He frames it as logic. If the league and brands are making hundreds of millions off his image, then he deserves a percentage of that value. That idea sounds simple, but in the NFL, it is borderline radical. Most rookies are locked into deals where their on-field salary is all they get. Endorsements are separate, and merchandise money largely flows back to teams and the league. Shedeur's structure flips that by giving him direct participation in the revenue his name creates. That is what makes this so disruptive. He is still a rookie who has not started a regular season game, yet his brand is already operating at superstar level. The $14 million he pulled from jersey sales alone put him in financial territory that most quarterbacks never reach even after a full career. The Browns are paying him $4.6 million over 4 years. The fans are paying him far more than that in just a few weeks of buying his jersey. This is also why people keep using the word unprecedented. There has never been a situation where a rookie's commercial income so completely dwarfed his football contract. And because of the prime equity clause, that income is not a side hustle. It is built into his professional identity. He is a quarterback and a business partner in his own brand at the same time. All of this would feel like hype if he wasn't also backing it up on the field. In practice and preseason games, Shedeur has been sharp, efficient, and calm. The Browns did not draft him in the 5th round because they thought he was a marketing gimmick. They drafted him because he could play, and his preseason numbers showed it. He has been accurate, composed, and effective, which only pours more fuel on the brand fire surrounding him. Every clean throw and every productive drive reinforces the idea that this isn't just a celebrity moment. It is a quarterback who can actually deliver. That matters because in the NFL, no amount of sales or social media buzz will survive if the player can't perform. So far, Shedeur has done exactly what he needed to do. He showed that he belongs on an NFL field, which gives credibility to everything happening off it. That combination is what makes him dangerous to the old system. A rookie who sells like a superstar but plays like a legitimate quarterback changes how teams and sponsors look at the next generation. Suddenly, the idea that rookies should be cheap feels outdated. If a fifth-round pick can move this much merchandise, what happens when a first-round star demands the same kind of deal? The photos from his early appearances in Browns gear tell the story just as clearly as the sales numbers. His jersey became one of the most visible pieces of NFL apparel almost instantly. That visual saturation matters because it turns a player into a cultural fixture. Fans aren't just watching him, they are wearing him. That kind of presence is what drives the $250 million in sales. This is also where his marketability becomes impossible to ignore. He is not just another rookie trying to find his place. He is a recognizable figure with a built-in audience that follows him from college into the pros. Those fans didn't wait to see if he would start a game. They bought it immediately, and that immediate buy-in is what made his endorsement structure explode. The league is now dealing with a situation where the normal timeline has collapsed. Usually a player has to earn fame, then leverage that into endorsements. Shedeur walked in with both. The result is a financial profile that looks nothing like a typical rookie. Even though he has not started a regular season game, his preseason performances in Browns matchups have been enough to keep the momentum going. He has shown he can handle NFL speed and NFL defenses, which keeps the conversation grounded in football. This is not just about a contract clause or a marketing deal. It is about a quarterback who is proving that the attention is not misplaced. That matters because critics have tried to reduce this to hype. They point to his draft position and say fifth-round picks are not supposed to become financial powerhouses. But that is exactly the point. The old logic doesn't apply anymore. Fans don't care where he was drafted when they decide to buy his jersey. They care about his name, his presence, and what he represents. Every time he steps on the field and performs competently, it becomes harder to dismiss the phenomenon. The Browns may have signed him for $4.6 million, but the market has already valued him far higher. Of course, this kind of success brings scrutiny. Every off-field issue, including minor things like speeding tickets, has been amplified. That is part of what happens when a player becomes as visible this fast. The media microscope turns on, and every detail becomes a talking point. In Shedeur's case, those moments have been used to question his character and maturity. There is also a racial layer to how those stories are told. Black athletes have historically been judged more harshly for off-field behavior, and Shedeur's rise has made him an easy target. Small issues get framed as signs of deeper problems, even when they have nothing to do with the performance or his business deals. Through all of that, he has stayed focused on football and on his brand. He has not tried to talk his way out of the criticism. He has let us play, and his numbers speak. That is another reason the situation feels so different. He is not begging for acceptance. He is already profitable. When Shedeur talks about the bigger picture, he makes it clear that this is not just about him. The prime equity clause is a blueprint. If it works for him, other players will want it. That is what has NFL executives worried. The league is built on cost control, especially with rookies. If more young players start demanding ownership stakes in their own brands, the financial balance of power shifts. This is not theoretical anymore. His $14 million from jersey sales is real. His $250 million in merchandise revenue is real. Those numbers will be studied by agents, players, and teams. Once the data is out there, it becomes impossible to pretend this is a fluke. It becomes a model. That is why people keep saying this could change the NFL. It challenges the idea that a player's worth is defined only by his contract. Shedeur has shown that a player's brand can be just as powerful, if not more. Looking at everything together, the practice reps, the preseason performances, the interviews, and the financial impact, the pattern is clear. Shedeur Sanders is not just a rookie quarterback. He is a case study in what happens when an athlete combines performance, marketability, and ownership. His rise has forced the league to confront a future where players are no longer just employees, but partners in the businesses built around them. That future is already here. A fifth-round pick just became the highest-paid rookie in NFL history through endorsements alone. That fact will not go away, no matter how many critics try to downplay it. The next generation of players is watching, and they see a path that didn't exist before. So as the season moves forward, every snap he takes will be more than just a football play. It will be a test of whether this new model can last. If he keeps performing, the conversation will only get louder. If he struggles, people will try to write it off. Either way, the rules have already been challenged, and that is something the league cannot undo. If you want to keep up with how this story unfolds, make sure you like this video, share it with other fans who care about where the NFL is headed, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. It's not just Nike making the bet on Shedeur. The ripple effect of his brand power has already reached across the NFL and beyond. Every time a new product drops, whether it's a custom cleat, a sideline hoodie, or a retro-inspired campaign tied to his college days, the sellouts are immediate. This isn't your average rookie marketing rollout. This is long-term brand architecture. The kind you normally see built around elite players years into their careers, not a 21-year-old before his first regular season snap. Even long-established players are starting to take notice. Some are asking their agents to review their own contracts. Others are studying the language in their endorsement deals, wondering what their cut really looks like when their face is slapped across national campaigns. That's where Shedeur's model becomes dangerous to the status quo. Once players realize they've been building value for others instead of for themselves, they're going to want on the ownership too. Nike didn't just slap his name on a billboard. They built a platform that treats him like a global property. His logo is being positioned alongside signature athletes who have won championships, MVPs, and changed the game. And yet, there he is, still a rookie, already aligned with their level of prestige. That says more than any endorsement figure can. In interviews, Shedeur doesn't even flinch when asked if he feels pressure. He talks about it like it's a business meeting. Not arrogance, strategy. He's careful with his words, never biting at critics, and never pretending that all of this happened by accident. The confidence comes from preparation. He knows what he represents, and he knows what's at stake. What really stands out is how consistent he's been. Every time a new wave of coverage hits, whether it's about his contract, a Nike campaign, or media backlash, his tone doesn't change. No big reactions, no spiraling headlines from him. Just a calm, steady approach that leans into performance and execution. That consistency has become part of his brand, and it's working. The NFL has always valued control. It's a league built around discipline, order, and predictable hierarchies. Shedeur disrupts that by being both unpredictable and completely in control of his own image. The balance he strikes between business and football is so precise, it's almost clinical. That's not typical rookie behavior. That's the profile of someone who came in with a blueprint and is following it perfectly. At practice, the cameras barely leave him, not just the team's media department, but national outlets too. Every warm-up throw, every sideline huddle, every chat with veterans becomes content. And Shedeur knows it. He doesn't play into it, but he doesn't shy away either. It's just part of the job now. There's a noticeable difference in how his teammates treat him too. No one's rolling their eyes at the cameras. There's respect, because behind all the noise, Shedeur shows up and puts in work. He's studying film, hitting his marks, and running the offense cleanly. He hasn't tried to act like a superstar. He's acted like a quarterback competing for reps. That keeps the locker room quiet, and it keeps the media storm from becoming a distraction. Veterans in the league are used to rookies coming in with endorsements. What they're not used to is a rookie rewriting the rules before proving himself on the scoreboard. But Shedeur's proving something different. That commercial leverage doesn't have to wait for football glory. It can run in parallel. As long as you show up and execute, the two can coexist. Photos from the sidelines of preseason games look like a media circus. Shedeur's name isn't just in the press releases. It's on fans' backs, signs, and posters. The Browns haven't had this kind of rookie attention in years. And it's not just Ohio. This is national. His merchandise is being spotted in cities that have zero connection to Cleveland. That reach matters. It shows that Shedeur is operating on a platform bigger than just a team. This is what Nike bought into. Cultural relevance. His brand isn't based solely on how he plays. It's about what he stands for. Legacy, empowerment, and ownership. Those themes sell. And not just the football fans. He's crossing over into streetwear, into youth culture, into lifestyle branding. Every image the public sees reinforces that. And the Browns know it. They're not leaning away from the hype. They're designing media pieces around him. They're pairing him with franchise veterans in promos. They see the value, and they're running with it, even if it means dealing with the complexities of having a player who's bigger than the team brand itself. When Shedeur stepped onto the field in those first Browns matchups, it wasn't just a test of skill. It was a test of narrative. Could he live up to the brand? Could he handle the pressure of being a walking business deal in a league that doesn't always embrace that? So far, he's held his own. His throws were clean. His decision-making was tight. And most importantly, he didn't force anything. That alone earned him more time on the field and more confidence from the coaching staff. This wasn't a kid chasing headlines. This was a quarterback playing with patience and purpose. And that was enough to quiet some of the early doubters. The NFL has a short memory. What you do on Sunday matters more than what you were Monday through Saturday. Shedeur seems to understand that. His performance has never tried to match the flash of his brand. It's been humble, smart, and efficient. That combination makes it even harder to question the legitimacy of his rise. What we're seeing now is a highlight reel in real time. Shedeur's journey isn't being documented after the fact. It's being watched live. Every stat, every media interview, every endorsement drop becomes part of the public record of how a rookie changed the game. And it's not just football fans paying attention. Business schools are starting to use his contract as a case study. Marketing execs are discussing his rollout in boardrooms. Players from other leagues are asking how they can get a clause like prime equity into their own contracts. The ripple is already bigger than just the NFL. That's the part that should have league executives nervous. This isn't just a moment, it's a shift. And if Shedeur keeps performing, there's no putting this genie back in the bottle. He will become the blueprint, and the league will have to adapt. At his latest press conference, Shedeur didn't dodge the business questions. He leaned into them. He talked about ownership, value, and legacy with the calm clarity of someone who's already 5 steps ahead. It's rare to see a player, let alone a rookie, speak that confidently about the economics of the sport. He wasn't emotional. He wasn't trying to sell a story. He was just explaining the math. If a brand built on his name sells hundreds of millions of dollars in product, why wouldn't he get a direct cut of that? Why wouldn't he own a piece of the pie instead of just smiling in the ads? What caught people off guard wasn't the logic. It was the fact that he said it out loud. Most athletes don't talk about equity on camera. But Shedeur does. Because for him, this isn't just a career. It's an enterprise. And he's running it in plain sight. When asked about criticism, Shedeur keeps it short. He knows the media has been harder on him than other rookies. He knows that every small mistake will be magnified. And yes, he knows there's a racial element to it too. But he doesn't linger on that. He just keeps pushing forward. The calmness in his interviews isn't rehearsed. It's habitual. He's had a camera in his face since high school. He's been groomed for the spotlight. And he doesn't crack under it. That polish is part of what makes him so marketable. But it also protects him from narratives that try to paint him as immature or arrogant. His answers are focused, respectful, and always aligned with the brand. That's intentional. Every word supports the larger message. I'm not just here to play. I'm here to change how this game works. And you can either get on board or get left behind. The longer this goes, the clearer it becomes. This isn't a blip. It's a formula. Shedeur is operating on a calculated trajectory designed to stretch across years, not seasons. The Nike deal? That's not a one-off. It's the opening chapter in what looks like a decade-long strategy. They're already hinting at a signature shoe. That's not something you give to a rookie without long-term plans. And it's not just apparel. Nike's content strategy around him is massive. They're building documentaries, campaign rollouts, and cross-sport branding to make him a household name outside of football entirely. What we're seeing now is a foundation of something much bigger than a jersey drop. And the NFL is slowly realizing that if they don't find a way to evolve with it, they're going to lose control of how athletes view their value. New match photos. Final numbers don't lie. A fifth-round pick with no regular season starts, already pulling $14 million off jerseys and generating $250 million in total revenue? That's not just success, that's historical. And the league knows it, which is why behind the scenes, there's quiet scrambling happening. Owners, agents, marketing reps, they're all reevaluating how rookies are handled. Because if Shedeur's prime equity model becomes standard, the financial calculus of player management changes overnight. Teams will no longer have total control of rookie brand value. Players will. And for Shedeur, that's exactly the point. He's not asking for special treatment. He's just asking for a fair share of the value he creates. And based on the numbers, he's earning it. So if you're still watching the story unfold, do yourself a favor. Stay locked in. Hit that like. Share it with someone who still thinks rookie contracts are sacred. Drop your opinion in the comments and subscribe. Because Shedeur Sanders just kicked off a whole new chapter in NFL history. And it's only getting started.